What's happening? I'm here, I'm live. I know that was a bit of an underwhelming intro, I'm not gonna lie. I accidentally clicked come off the intro, but I wasn't really actually ready to come off the intro because I was still vibing in the background. Big up to everyone, man. You guys know what it is. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. I know you lot are probably thinking, why is Mina in a good mood and United lost yesterday? I'm just in a good mood. I'm in a good mood. I hope you are all having a wonderful Monday. Apologies, there was no 4 p.m. stream today, but we switched it up a little bit and we thought to do it a bit later, 6 p.m. or 6:15 here if you've come over from the Straight Jacket podcast. Big up to everybody. I hope you have had or are having or continue to have a very good day. I'm in a good mood. That's it. We're going to talk about, obviously, Manchester United versus Arsenal, but I am here. I'm in a good mood. We're going to talk a bit about Rasmus Hojlund. We're going to talk about Wayne Rooney's comments. And we're going to talk about some, I don't want to say records, but some things that have happened this season that I don't think is getting enough. We're not talking about it enough. And we're papering over it because of the excuses of injuries. So if you've just come through, be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content as well. You can see, guys, we got some new setups here. We got Edwin van der Sar. If you lot remember, this is the penalty miss from Anelka in the Champions League final. That and it's Edwin. Is it Anelka? Is it Anelka? Yeah, it's Anelka missing it. Van der Sar saving it. So we got that there. We got a nice little graphic. If you lot are wondering, absolutely, I am a 99 rated striker. Yeah, it's not that I'm shameless, guys. I've got 99 pace, 99 shooting, 99 dribbling, 99 everything. But we've got a nice little setup here, and you lot can see the background of my stream is the Manchester United women's team triumphed yesterday. I wish I did a watch along, but I'm not gonna lie, guys, I had a much better time at the stadium. But you can see the background. It's an iconic moment, a day in history, and I was so glad to be a part of it and to be part of the journey, man. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not letting the Arsenal game kind of drag down my mood too much, because yesterday was a good day. It was an absolute good day, but we got some talking to do. We got some real stuff to talk about. So be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. Of course, you get to support the growth of the channel. Big up to everyone that dropped me a message yesterday. I was on BBC News talking about Manchester United women and just what the FA Cup win meant. So big up to people that were messaging me saying that they had watched it and they had seen me. Big up to the people for all the feedback, all the positivity and the positive comments on the back of my vlog. So make sure you check out the match day vlog from the FA Cup women's final as well. Is that everything? Yeah, like I said, if you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. If you want to support the growth of the channel, you can send in super chats too, which obviously supports the channel and allows me to get all this cool equipment. It lets me get all this cool equipment for streaming. But you guys know what it is. Listen, I'm going to start with the positive. I know you lot don't want me to. Big up to Thriller72 says, big up Mina, we won the fudging FA Cup. We absolutely did. That Tooney goal was like that Sir Bobby Charlton goal. Listen, the second it left her foot, it was the other side of where United fans were sat. But the second it left her foot, guys, I knew that was going in. I don't know what it was. As soon as it left her foot, I saw it curling top corner. I said, oh my God. Someone grabbed my head as well. You know that when we were celebrating, someone random behind me grabbed the back of my head like this. And then she apologized after the game. Everyone was just grabbing people next to them. But oh man, what a day, man. I'd definitely relive it. And then my day kind of sucked after, because then on my way home, I was watching the Man United men's team. And I was just like, oh, going from a high to a low like that. It is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. But I hope you guys watched that game before you lot actually watched the Arsenal game. I really do hope you guys watched that game. But big up to the women's team. I'm looking forward to next season as well. Hopefully it'll be a better league campaign. I don't know, maybe we could get back to another FA Cup final as well. But only time will tell. But big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Listen, let's go straight into it. I don't know what you're talking about. Only the women played yesterday. That's the best mentality to have, because you know what? There's been times this season that the women's team has saved us when, you know, the men's team ain't been playing well. And then there's been sometimes the women's team has a big game. But yesterday the vibes was immaculate. Like, I was talking to some of the players after the game, and yeah, the vibes was just and it was a really sunny day in London at Wembley, and I know it was pouring down with rain up in Manchester. Old Trafford's leaking. It's a waterfall there. I will get to that as well, because that's actually not funny, guys. I know I'm laughing about it, but that's actually not funny. The conditions of Old Trafford for a top league team. The fact that it's literally pissing down with rain through the stadium is absolutely ridiculous. But let's get straight into it. Because we got a bit to talk about. Because I was reading an article on... Actually, let's not get to the stats. Mina, talk the women's team first. Men's team get too much energy. That's true. I try to cover the women's team as much as possible. If you follow me on socials, you'll know. If you follow me on Twitter, if you follow me on TikTok, if you follow me on Instagram, on YouTube, you guys know that I try to give the women's team as much coverage as possible. My only regret is I went to last year's Women FA Cup, but missed this one. You went to the wrong one. You really went to the wrong one, because this year's one, I went to both. But I switched it up this year. I sat with the fans this year. I didn't go through media, and you can't even celebrate in media, so I'm kind of glad that I didn't. It would have been nice to like interview some of the players, but I had the best time of my life with the fans, I'm not gonna lie. So next year, get booking with your tickets for the FA Cup final, man. And to be honest, I had a ticket for the Arsenal Man United game, and I gave it away. I don't regret it one bit. I don't regret it one bit. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm going to keep this background for a while, guys. This background is not going anywhere. I might just keep it for the end of the season, because it's just a moment to bask in all the glory. But let's get into it. Let's start with Wayne Rooney and his comments about Manchester United players yesterday. Punditry duties on Sky Sports for Manchester United former striker. Some of his comments, I was actually quite shocked that he said it. And maybe, I don't know if you lot agree. I want to know if you lot agree with any of the stuff that Wayne Rooney said, because he suggested that there's some players that are not injured and they're hiding behind injuries. And he's actually gone on and said, not just that, he's actually gone on and said they are fit enough to play. That is a very wild take. I'll be honest, that you have to have serious inside information to claim that. I don't think it's something you just come on air, you know, maybe like you're drunk or something and you just say that. I think he knows something, because you don't just come on TV and make you don't come on Sky Sports Super Sunday and make accusations like that about players. And he even said he's 100% convinced. Now, I don't like it when players go on and say, you know, in my day I did this. Yeah, bro, errors change. Yeah, errors change, times change. I know this generation of football is criticised for being soft. Well, excuse me, or excuse them for trying to take care of their body. Now, Manchester United will finish in their lowest ever Premier League finish, risking the opportunity to miss out on football, by the way. European football, there won't be any Conference League football if United finish 8th. If they finish 7th, they get Conference League. I think if 8th, they don't get anything. It'll be one game a week. Under Eric Ten Hag, Man United this season alone, let's not talk about last season. This season alone, under Eric Ten Hag, Manchester United have lost 19 games in all competitions. The most since 1978-79 season. Guys, who do you guys know anyone that was born in 1978-79? Because I'm thinking like my siblings are old, but I think only one of my siblings was alive at that point. I think so. I think only one of my siblings were alive at that point. 78-79 is a long time ago, guys. That is a long time ago. That's near enough 40 years ago. It's not exactly 40 years, but not too far off from 40 years ago. That's history. That is literally, you're writing yourselves in the history book. This Manchester United team are writing themselves in the history books when it comes to bad history. It's not positive history, by the way. He was asked, now this is what Wayne Rooney went on to say in particular. He was asked if the players are currently playing for Ten Hag. And can I just say, guys, I say this all the time, I hate the notion of playing for the manager. I don't like it. I don't like it. You don't play for a manager. You play for the badge first and foremost. You play for the fans, second. Third is up for argument what that is. But you don't play for the manager. You don't play to keep a manager in his job. You play for the love of the badge. You play for the love of the fans, for the support. You don't play because you like you don't play well because you like the manager. I get it. Some players might put in a bit more because, you know, they might be a player that the manager kind of betted on to do well. You know, players like Anthony that the manager kind of brought into the team. Okay, I understand that. But there shouldn't be a circumstance where the players play for the manager. Managers come and go. The badge stays there forever. The fans stay there forever. But anyway, he was asked about if United players are currently playing for Ten Hag. He said, if they are, I don't think they're showing it very well. The performances, and there are some good players in the squad that are way below par. He went on to say, as we look at the injuries they've picked up, some of these players can play 100%. When you have European Championship coming up and an FA Cup final, it's easy for players to stay out of it a little bit, get back for the final and make sure they're ready for the European Championships. I've seen it myself over the years. The players who are injured are not filling themselves in any credit at the moment. The manager is going to take all the stick for it. Roy Keane then went on to talk about this, and he said that it's not a good sign. You hope players who are carrying injuries are desperate to get back to playing football. There are always a few players at every club who drag their heels with a few injuries, but other players, certainly ones I played with, they will try and knock a week or two off that. I don't know why you're talking about how it was when you were playing, but each to their own. Then he went on to say that's always also a worry, but that goes on at a lot of clubs where they have a lack of confidence and they're out of it and they don't rush back to be with the team. I think that is a very key thing that Roy Keane is mentioning there. There's a worry to rush yourself back because you have a lack of confidence. And you don't want to. Who is it that they have a lack of confidence in? Is it the coaching staff that they have a lack of confidence in? Is it maybe the manager that because some of these players have been sustaining injuries across the course of the season, yeah, and it's reoccurring injuries. Can I say it's reoccurring injuries? Not reoccurring injuries, sorry, because some of these players are getting different types of injuries, but it's regular. They're getting regular injuries, and you look at Casemiro, for example, who was out injured before the last international break, and then was told that he could go when he was called up by Brazil, and he went for a second opinion. And historically, Manchester United have had this issue with players where they go for second opinions to sources and doctors that they trust. I think it was Malacia that they were talking about that said reportedly Manchester United said that he didn't need a certain type of surgery, and then he went and got surgery with his own doctor, which is why he's been out the entire season. Now, they went on and had a whole debate on it, and they were talking about, you know, the different injuries at other clubs. They spoke about Luton, Chelsea, etc. And then they spoke about Newcastle as well. And this is what made me laugh. Merson said that there were 15 United staff out there warming up with the players. Just as many staff as players. And then they went on to say, you know, if I want to play, the physio isn't going to tell me I'm not playing. And then Rooney went on to say, I played over 700 matches. If I played 100 games at 100%, I'd be shocked. I was taking injections, taking tablets. I wanted to play football and I wasn't going to listen to anybody else. Now, they went on and spoke about the manager. And they said, I think the players have to look at themselves. When you've got a manager talking about attitudes and players not being right to play for Manchester United, that's a massive insult. If I see my manager saying that, there's no way I would let that ride until the end of the season. Can I say that personally, I don't think Erik Ten Hag has ever said that these players don't know what it's like to play for Manchester United. I think he's actually highlighted that they can't play the way that he wants them to play. He's already came into the club and spoke about the standards of the club anyway. When he came in, he spoke about the standards of the club. So him mentioning, you know, the idea that Wayne Rooney saying, you know, the manager's talking about players not being right to play for Manchester United. No, he didn't say that. Erik Ten Hag said that these players can't play the way that he wants them to play. He didn't say they can't play for Manchester United. He then went on to say, I hope he gets time to do it right. But we saw in 2006 when Louis van Gaal lost his job after winning the FA Cup. So you never know. I would personally hope they do give him time. There are a few problems with recruitment. It hasn't been good for a few years. And this is funny to me because when the last two windows, everybody, and when I say everyone, I'm talking about predominantly about like mainstream media, was praising the way that United were moving in the transfer windows. They were saying that people were calling it Murto madness, you know, fans were calling it Murto madness. People were saying United were moving swiftly when, you know, they missed out on the opportunity of getting De Jong this summer, and then they went for Mount, and then from Mount it was Hojlund, from Hojlund it was Onana. They were moving quite I wouldn't say rapidly, but they were moving with, it looked like, direction. And now suddenly they're saying, well, the recruitment hasn't been good. I don't kind of understand that. Let me see what you lot are saying in the chat. Big up to Benji in the chat. For some reason, this is not letting me pin any comments. Let me try fix this. Bear with me. It is pinned. It is pinned, but I just need to unhide it because I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute donut. I'm an absolute donut. And there you go. Perfect. Sorry, guys. But big up to Benji with the super chat. Says even Graham Souness mentioned it, not revealing his sources. He's not revealing his sources. Big up to Nathan with the super chat. Says no full view tonight. No, there's no full view tonight. But I think Flex dropped a video talking about something. I don't know what, but he's talking about something. And Owen will be live on Playback. So if you go to United Views socials or their YouTube, go on Playback. He will be live at 7:30 on Playback. So go and check that out as well. But big up to everyone in the chat. Let me see what you lot are saying. Because I think some of you lot are agreeing with Wayne Rooney. Mr. K, big up to Mr. K, says Rooney is 100% right. Graham Souness said the same thing today on TalkSport, that someone close to the players told him Stephen McLaren might be the one. I've seen people speculating that it might be Mason Mount. I've seen people speculating it might be Darren Fletcher because obviously he's got a good relationship with Wayne Rooney. I've seen a lot of people speculating different stuff. You play for yourself and your teammates. No, 100%. I don't think you play for a manager. In my opinion, I think it's actually quite toxic to suggest that people should play for the manager. I think you play for the badge, you play for the fans, and then you play for your teammates. And then managers come and go, guys. Managers come and go, and I'm sure a lot of players know that. Half of these players don't play for the badge though. They play for the weekly pay slip. That's a tongue twister. Either way, they're getting paid. Whether they play or not, they're still getting paid. Which is, listen, I saw a screenshot, and this is very off topic, guys, but I saw a screenshot of Anthony. He was earning 21k a week at Ajax, and Manchester United came through and dashed him 200k a week. Of course he doesn't want to leave Manchester United. Of course this guy's never going to want to leave. I'm sorry, but we just took his whole family out of poverty. United have taken his whole family out of poverty with that payslip. He went from earning 20k a week at Ajax, which he was probably happy with anyway. 20k a week, guys, is still a lot. Yeah, that's still a lot. Okay, 20k to me a week would change my life. That would absolutely change my life. But he went from earning 20k a week to how much did they multiply that by? They multiplied it by 10. They multiplied it by 10. They came to him and said, you're earning 20k. Bam, times 10. That's what we're giving you. I couldn't believe it. I actually thought it was an edit. I actually thought it was an edited picture when I first saw it. Until I went and looked at it myself on Transfer Market. And the disbelief. No wonder he does not want to leave Manchester United. Of course, because he's earning 200k a week. He's going to be a millionaire by the time he's 30. But way before that, he'll be a millionaire Wallahi, he'll be a millionaire in 3 months. Less than that. I'm talking like after tax, etc. Sorry, guys, that was just a bit off topic. If we win the FA Cup, we get Europa League, even if we finish 8th or 7th. Fun fact, guys. Fun fact. If Manchester United finish 7th and they lose the FA Cup, we have to play a qualifier for Conference League, a two-legged qualifier for Conference League in August. I think it's like the beginning of August, so it will probably be that before the actual Premier League season starts. Imagine that, a qualifier to play in the Conference League. Bloody hell. How the mighty have fallen. Honestly, how the mighty have fallen. Mount was a 65 million joke. He is faking injuries. I don't know if he's faking injuries, but I just think like 60 million down the drain, Mason Mount is injured again. United should have done their due diligence. United should have done their due diligence before they signed Mason Mount. I mean, everybody and their mum knew that he had injury problems at Chelsea. You know, we got pump faked, as United always do. We got pump faked by Liverpool. It was out in the media that Liverpool were after him. United go and pay 60 million and dash him 100. I don't even know how much they're paying him as well, but it was a waste. It was a waste because you haven't got the best out of him. I wouldn't even say 10 games. Would I even say 5 games? I remember him scoring against Brentford. That's the only real impact I can think that he's made this season. And to be honest, even when he was fit early in the season, he didn't really have a run of games. So it's quite harsh for me to say that, but it's another, maybe that's what is being insinuated when like pundits are suggesting poor recruitment, because I'm surprised that INEOS came in and they were questioning the Casemiro signing. I hope they're questioning the Mason Mount signing as well. Big up to Collins in the chat, says, hi Mina, I think the problem is not the coach because the cycle has been going on for like 10 years or so. Getting a manager then sacking. We've been having the best Oli, Mourinho and the rest. I do think both can be true. I do feel like both can be true. I do think it's not solely on the manager, but I do think that the manager has some blame in the way that the season has panned out. Not necessarily on the injuries, because I'm not going to sit here and speculate that these injuries are solely because of the training methods, because we don't know that. So I think it's quite harsh to speculate that. But I can definitely speak about the results. I can definitely speak specifically about the results and the performances in terms of how United are set up in those games. This Arsenal game showed that Erik ten Hag can be a bit more compact when he chooses to. He can play a bit more. I'm not saying like completely part the bus like we're Everton. I'm not saying that, but we went to Anfield. We were able to play like that. If United want to play counter-attacking, FA Cup, we've seen that's possible. Like, Erik ten Hag has neglected those options because he's been adamant that this specific way of him wanting to play would work. But we've been able to see that Erik ten Hag can adapt if necessary. And it's when situations are on the line. I feel like, you don't want to be the team that gets battered by Arsenal on their way to a title. Like, you don't want to do that. As much as I think that United would also like to stop City, I don't think it's going to be the case in the FA Cup, but I will never think that Erik ten Hag will set the team up in the way that he might do it against a Palace or a Fulham or a Nottingham Forest. I think the way that we approach the games, Erik ten Hag has shown that against the big teams, United can adapt. By the way, can I just say, out of the top 6 teams, and thank you for that comment, but out of the top 6 teams this season for Arsenal, United is the only team that they've beaten twice. Spurs, they didn't beat twice. Their own, I hate when my computer does this, but their own North London rivals, they did not beat twice. The title rivals that they have, they didn't beat them twice. Liverpool, they were in a title race with them at some point. Didn't beat them twice. Chelsea, they didn't beat twice. But Manchester United, they beat twice. And that says a lot. I think that says a lot in terms of how the season is. Yes, we can talk about the fact, we can brag about, by the way, Liverpool didn't beat us this season. Liverpool didn't beat, that's not a medal, but of course I know a lot of people will brag about that. But we lost twice. City did the double over us. Chelsea split. They beat us once, we beat them once. Who else? Spurs. We ain't beaten Spurs this season. We lost to them and drew to them. It's just kind of funny when you put it like that. Let me see what the chat is saying. Mina playing Uzbekistani football next season is a disgrace. I 100% agree. I 100% agree that it's absolutely embarrassing that United can find themselves in the Conference League next year. It's very disappointing as well, can I say that? It's very disappointing. Old Trafford was showing their support to Palestine by bringing the river and the sea. Free Palestine, man. And from the river to the sea, inshallah, one day Palestine will be free. That was funny though. That was a funny joke. Big up to Big Game Player says, didn't need Mount, didn't need Onana, didn't need Anthony. All those free types already at the club. Kobe, Ahmad, De Gea wasted bare money on Muppets. You know what's funny? De Gea would have rather yesterday he was watching Manchester United women. By the way, he was the only player last year to actually come and watch the women's team because he had a good relationship with Mary Earps. I think they were homies. He came to watch them quite a few times at LSV. Yesterday, he actually posted on his Instagram him watching the game. Of course, Lucia Garcia, if you lot know, Manchester United winger, is Spanish as well, so I assume them two are friends. But listen, I like David De Gea, but if a team would have snatched him by now, come on. Come on. I know someone said to me one day that David De Gea has chosen not to be working this year. He's chosen not to be part of a club because he's just a newlywed and he wants to spend time with his wife. He's been with his partner for how long? Just because he's married to her now doesn't mean that he's going to take a year out of work just to spend time with her. Like, let's be flipping for real, guys. Let's be flipping for real. But I do agree with that comment. Where is it? I do agree about, you know, Kobe, about Ahmad. I think Ten Hag didn't expect Ahmad to play as good as he did yesterday. I don't think he did that. And I don't want to say he kind of hung him out to dry, but he dashed him into a game where he's not started. And then you dash him into a game against Arsenal. It's like Pellistri against Bayern. Pellistri barely started. He's had little cameos here and there at the beginning of the season. And then you just dash him in to start against Bayern Munich. Of course, Ahmad came out a lot more stronger than Pellistri did in that Bayern Munich game. But I don't think he was counting on Ahmad to perform well. For me, it's very obvious, guys. It's very obvious that Ten Hag knows when he can play Amrabat. He knows when he can play Amrabat. But he chooses not to. And that's negligence. Can I just say, wallahi, like... By the way, you lot are probably thinking, Mina ain't spoken about Casemiro. I've not wasted my time speaking about Casemiro. That guy, wallahi, he's working against us. That guy, Casemiro, is working against. Because there's no way, yeah, I'm sorry, there's no way you're strutting. He's walking with his hips strutting back, yeah, and leaving a whole, how many, 15 inches to stay onside. It just... When he did that, guys, I just laughed. I laughed as much as what he did against Palace when he just tried to play the ball out and he just got caught in possession. I think it was their third goal, the Elise screamer. I just laughed because why was he was walking back, guys, yeah? Or he wasn't even jogging. Well, he was walking with his hips, strutting himself. Not a care in the world. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of, guys, do you guys ever go out in the summer when the weather's nice and you're not in a rush to go anywhere, but you got plans with your friends? Maybe you're going out for brunch. Maybe you're going to have a picnic in the park. Maybe you're going somewhere. And you know, you got your sunglasses on. You're strutting down the high street with no care in the world. You're not in a rush to go anywhere. That's what it looked like he was doing yesterday. It looked like he was strutting on the beach in Rio de Janeiro and he had no rush to be somewhere. Not realising that he's on a flipping football pitch and he's keeping a whole man onside. He just literally looked like he had no care in the world. Right now, Casemiro just looks like he's just, you know, when you go to work and you do the bare minimum. I know a lot of you lot can probably relate. When you turn up to work, mentally you've clocked out. You're applying for new jobs in your head, yeah. You're already applying for new jobs, but you still need the money. He might not, but you still need the money. So you're just going to work. You're trying to get through the day. You're 9 to 5. You're 9 to 9 if you work in the NHS. If you're a teacher, obviously that's different. But you're just trying to get through the day. And you're doing the bare minimum. You might slip up. You might make mistakes. But mentally you've clocked out already. That is what Casemiro reminds me of right now at Manchester United. Casemiro is getting this, but he's 5 times Champions League winner. I will never take that away from him. But I'm judging Casemiro, guys, on what he's done at Manchester United. Why am I judging him about what he's done with Real Madrid, which was an iconic Real Madrid team, by the way? They won 3 Champions Leagues in a row. There's no harm in pointing out his flaws in Manchester United. That does not take away from what Casemiro has won. And the same is for Varane as well. If you criticizing a player does not take away what they have won. Casemiro don't care. He's laughing to the bank. Forget the trophies. He's laughing to the bank. Yeah, he's a millionaire. But let's judge him on his time at Manchester United, because nobody's saying, "Oh, look at Mason Mount. He's a Champions League winner." Nobody's saying that. No one's saying that, because I'm judging him based on his time at Manchester United. Mina, your boy Amrabat done okay. Admit it, you a guest. He done okay. I was a bit proud. It's a bit late in the season for this type of performance. But it kind of is what it is. It's very unfortunate, but I know he's gone. I know Amrabat's leaving. And it's funny because Fiorentina are in the Conference League final again. I think, who are they playing? Olympiacos, I think it is. I think they're playing Olympiacos. I might be wrong. But on the back of that, guys, I don't know if you have seen, again, it seems like there's a lot of speculation, or there's a lot of leaking of information to people, because first it was, will Amrabat get a medal if Fiorentina win? No, he won't, because he hasn't played for them at all in the season. He hasn't played for them at all. He was on strike at the beginning of the season. So there's that. But big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button if you've just come through. Be sure to subscribe. Guys, we ain't too far off from, did I do it right? I did it right. We ain't too far off from, what is it? 3.6k? It's crazy. I just gained 150 subs out of nowhere over the last couple of days. So big up to everyone if you are new here, but we ain't too far off from 3.6. Eventually we will get to 4k. We've got a lot of fun content coming in the next couple weeks as well. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content, and of course you get to support the growth of the channel as well. If you want to send in a super chat with your comments, with your questions, with your thoughts, you can do that. That also supports the growth of the channel as a full-time content creator, man. You guys know that it goes a long way. All the support goes a long way. Hitting the like button goes a long way. Subscribing goes a long way. Super chats, memberships, all of that, regular occurrences, that all goes a long way. But I said I don't want to, it seems like there's a lot of information just being leaked out. First about players and their injuries, and now it sounds like, what do you think of our blue kit next season? I haven't seen it. What is our new kit out? Is it the one with the Snapdragon on it? I saw it on Twitter a while back. Let me hold on. Man United kit. Is it? I don't know if that was real. I saw one of Lisandro Martinez, but that looked fake. Yeah, it's that. I seen the red one. It kind of reminds me of, it's got the black on the... It's got the black, the home kit got the black stuff that reminds me of the Vodafone kit. It reminds me of the Vodafone kit. But I haven't seen the blue one yet. You know me, I like a blue kit. I like a blue kit. Blue is always nice, I can't lie. Blue is always nice. But speculation and leaked information about... I don't know why Rasmus Hojlund is the target. I don't know why Rasmus Hojlund is the target. Hasn't scored in about 8 games, I think, or 11 games. I think he hasn't scored. He scored 1 in 11, sorry. And he's not completed a full match since the FA Cup semi-final. Is reported, again, this is by Samuel Luckhurst. So, I don't know about that one. But he's speculating that a United player, squad member, has told someone who's told him that certain players are seeking alternative solutions in the final third due to Rasmus Hojlund's spell in front of a goal. United have scored one goal in their past 3 games. That's ridiculous. Firstly, that itself is a joke. Forget Rasmus Hojlund for a second. It's the fact that Manchester United has scored 1 goal in 3 games. Was it in December where it took us about 4 matches, I think, to score a goal? I thought we were about to hit 5 goals at one point in December times. I was thinking, when is a goal going to come? But Hojlund has gained the ball only 14 times in the 1-0 defeat against Arsenal. He had 26 sequences on the ball against Crystal Palace and only 11 against Burnley and 17 against Sheffield when he scored his only goal since February. So he scored against Sheffield, and before that, he hasn't scored since February. Now, whether or not this is true, whether or not this is true, let's look at it as objectively as possible, yeah? Rasmus Hojlund has had less shots on goal than Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney has missed half of the season. Now, whether or not, I think Rasmus Hojlund has his flaws. I'll be honest, I do feel like Rasmus Hojlund does have his flaws. I think 2 main things that has stood out to me, not just this season, but when I was watching a lot of him in the summer before his move, I realised his back-to-goal hold-up play, link-up play was not that good. And his aerial duels was not that good. I feel like at United, he's been thrown into this physical battle all the time against defenders. Doesn't really make the best runs when McTominay plays. Specifically when McTominay plays, you see the difference in the way that the runs that they make. McTominay makes much better runs, and he's not the striker out of the two of them, but he makes them much better runs and gets into better positions than Rasmus Hojlund. So I do think he's got his flaws, but he's young. 14 goals in all competitions. I think he's got 14 goals in 40 appearances, yeah? 14 goals in 40 appearances. Nobody for me has flourished playing up top under Erik ten Hag. No, there's no one that's flourished. Martial didn't flourish in the small stints that he had. Ronaldo was struggling to play up top. And you lot can have your opinions of Ronaldo, but he hit 20 plus goals the year before that. Wout Weghorst had to play as a 10. Because he weren't flourishing. Marcus Rashford doesn't flourish. Nobody flourishes playing up top in Erik ten Hag's system. And it was reported that Erik ten Hag, obviously he wanted Harry Kane, but the recruitment team and specifically the coaching style of football that for the style of football that Erik ten Hag was gonna play and for the style of football that Harry Kane plays, they chose allowing Bruno to maintain his spot. Because Harry Kane obviously drops deep a lot, they thought that would hinder any progression for any of the attacking midfielders, particularly Bruno Fernandes, which is one of the many reasons they opted not to get Harry Kane. Of course, money was a big thing, negotiating with Daniel Levy, all of that kind of stuff. But Manchester United have put Rasmus Hojlund in this situation. I don't care what anyone says, because people talk to me about Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson has had way more chances in front of goal than Rasmus Hojlund has. He's had way more chances than Rasmus Hojlund has in front of goal. And I think nobody will do well in this system or in this team this season. I don't feel like anybody would do well, because I've seen Kobbie Mainoo look like he's drowning sometimes. I've seen Garnacho look like he's drowning sometimes. This is just a crap season and nobody's going to look good. And now players are looking at each other, trying to see where to point fingers and where to criticise. Manchester United effed up the day that they paid 72 million for Rasmus Hojlund, who hadn't scored double-digit goals in the league at the age of 20, and put all the weight of Old Trafford on his shoulders. Now you lot are gonna say, "Oh, Mina, you're using the age excuse. If you're young enough, if you're good enough, you're old enough." Basically, Erik ten Hag had a fit Anthony Martial for a couple months at the beginning of the season and still was reluctant to play him. He decided, Anthony Martial, it was reported that he decided to have this surgery that he's been meaning to have for a long time when he found out that United were not going to extend his contract. So he thought, you know what, I might as well just get surgery, recover. Yeah? That is when United messed up. That's when United messed up, because you put all the weight of the world on a Rasmus Hojlund, who, by the way, guys, Manchester United brought him injured. He came to Manchester United injured. If you don't remember, he missed the first couple games. He came off the bench against Arsenal. They brought an injured player, a young player, and put the world of the front line on his shoulders. Leading the front line at Manchester United it's not for any Tom, Dick and Harry. It's not easy. That is probably, I think, where I think out of all the positions for Manchester United, I think the striker probably gets criticised the most, because you're the one that's meant to score the goals. Usually, of recent years, coming with the big fees. Give me a Cavani. That Cavani that Manchester United had, we didn't appreciate him enough. And we did him dirty. But a player like Cavani, put him in this system under Erik ten Hag, he won't flourish. Ibrahimovic, and I'm naming strikers that we've had over the last 10 or so years. There hasn't been a striker, by the way, that has completely flourished at Manchester United post Sir Alex Ferguson. Van Persie, he had a fall off under Moyes. Lukaku, big fee, 1-2 years, all right, but he was again hounded out. Ibrahimovic, Cavani, Ighalo, Falcao, pair of random players, Wayne Rooney, etc. There's not been a striker that United have brought in that has flourished. Maybe Man United has been the problem. And when we brought in Rasmus Hojlund, what did we say? Alexis Sanchez. I forgot about Alexis Sanchez. He came to his first training session at Man United and called his agent and said, "Get me out of here. Get me out of here." He came to one training session at Manchester United and said, "I need to leave this place." But he was on a downfall as well in his career anyways. He was on a downfall, let's be honest. But what did we say when Rasmus Hojlund came in? Be patient with him. He's a young player. Rather than going for a big play, like a big name rather than going for an Oshiman or a, what was the names? Kolo Muani, Gonzalo Ramos, Harry Kane, Vlahovic. Instead of going for them guys, let's go for a young player. Let's build a young core of players at Manchester United. I don't know whether these players genuinely feel like he's not good enough. But, and this is a question to you lot, if your striker is having a cold spell in front of goal, if your striker's having it, wouldn't you try to do everything you possibly can to get him up and running? Wouldn't you try to do that? Big up to Big Game Player with the super chat, says, hey Mina, who gets sold or let go next season? What, in the summer transfer window going into next season? I think a few players get let go. But I've said this a lot of times, and some people I don't think have been happy with it. I think it's a lot easier. It's going to be a lot more difficult to get rid of half of the team that we want to get rid of than it would be to change managers. I think it'll be a lot more difficult. It's FFP also, by the way. Wayne Rooney didn't flourish. No, I meant post Sir Alex Ferguson. Wayne Rooney is one of Man United's best strikers. I'm talking post Sir Alex. When I talk about strikers, guys, before someone says I'm criticising Wayne Rooney dropped into that deeper role, that more creative role. At one point, he was barely playing under Louis van Gaal. Not as much as he used to play anyways, because he was obviously getting older. I'm talking about post Sir Alex Ferguson, number 9s up top. That's all I'm talking about. Who gets let go or sold in the summer? I think, let's not think about the players that leave on a free. Let's not think about I think Brandon Williams, he's leaving on a free, I think his contract expires. Donny van der Beek is gone. Alvaro Fernandez reportedly is gonna go. I think I'm going to talk about the lesser players. I think Amad Diallo might leave, guys. Because he's gonna spend another year trying to figure out where he stands in the team. That'll be 4 years that he's been at the club, yet to really get anything in terms of first team football. I think he's good enough to start in most teams. I'll be honest, I think he's good enough to play in a good team. I think he's better suited to playing in Serie A, which is funny because he came from the Italian league. He came from Atalanta. But I think he might leave. I think Jadon Sancho will leave. I think Mason Greenwood will go out on loan again if United cannot sell him. Who else? Maguire or McTominay, I think it's one or the other. For Maguire or McTominay. One stays, one goes. Which one stays, which one goes? I'm not too sure. As much as I think Marcus Rashford should go have a clean slate, I don't think he's going to leave. I don't think he's gonna get sold. I don't think Bruno's gonna get sold. I think Victor Lindelof might get sold. There's absolutely no reason why we can't sell Maguire and McTominay. Why does one have to stay? I think a big part of one of them staying, I think it's gonna have to do with homegrown talents. That's why United signed Johnny Evans. I know you lot don't like this and you think it's an excuse, but I'm just trying to be realistic. United have to have a certain number of homegrown talents, right? Both of them fit into that category. They're not going to let one... Of course, it also depends... it depends, guys, on the academy players that they bring through, because some academy players such as, Lacey, etc., will be able to come through, and I think they will count as homegrown talents in comparison to the players that Manchester United have bought, such as Garnacho, etc. They don't class, I think, as homegrown talents. Scott McTominay or Maguire, guys, mark my words. We'll come back to this clip at the end of the summer season. One of them will leave. But you lot are still caught up on the Rooney thing. Rooney stats post Alex Ferguson: 13, 14, 19 goals, 20 assists. That's crazy, bro. 19 goals, 20 assists. 14 goals, 6 assists. 15 goals, 5 assists. 8 goals, 10 assists. 23 goals, 9 assists. That's crazy when you think about it like that. And that is deemed as a crap season, by the way. 13-14 was crap under David Moyes. And Erik ten Hag is about to surpass that. I also saw a stat, by the way, today. Forget about even points, yeah? The lowest goal scorers. Where is it? Okay, the fewest goals scored in a season. This season is second up there after Louis van Gaal's season, yeah? 52 goals scored in the league so far. The lowest Man United top goal scorer since the Premier League was formed. By the way, I think this stat that Ridwan has shared, I'm assuming it's in all competitions. But in the Premier League, guys, specifically in the Premier League, the lowest Man United top goal scorers in a season in the Premier League comes from this season with Bruno Fernandes with 10. 10 goals. After that, Wayne Rooney 04-05 season, which is infamously the season that Erik ten Hag referenced in a couple of weeks ago in a press conference where he spoke about the struggling Manchester United side in 04-05. Wayne Rooney, 11 goals that season. That's a young Wayne Rooney, by the way. Anthony Martial in that Van Gaal season, 11 goals in the league. Wayne Rooney, the year before that, 12 goals in 14-15. Pogba with 13 goals in 18-19. And then Cantona, 14 goals in the league, 95-96. That, to me, is a stat that we ain't even paying attention to too much. We are not paying attention to it too much. Forget the rate that United are scoring goals at. Bro, United are just not scoring. They are just not scoring. On top of that, they are breaking records left, right and centre. How many teams have beat us this season, can I say, that has never beaten us before? How many teams has beaten United this season that have, at Old Trafford, that have never beaten Manchester United before? How many teams have beaten us multiple times this season who have never beaten us before in the Premier League? How many teams have scored more than 3 goals in a game, or 3 or more goals in a game against Manchester United this season? I think it's an all-time record since post Sir Alex Ferguson. I definitely think Erik ten Hag has conceded the most goals in a game regularly in comparison to previous managers. Big up to Wajid with the big super chat. I appreciate it. That's a big one, man. W's in the chat for Wajid, who's also a member as well. Says, I don't trust INEOS, to be honest. Their record in sport doesn't fill me with confidence, and at the moment it's all talk and a structure. We're celebrating mediocrity because we have nothing. Wajid is saying that the bar is basically so low that we're clinging on to any sort of hope right now. And I do agree with that. I do agree with a little bit of that. But I think it's the idea of change. I do think United fans, we are relishing in the idea of change. And when you've been under the structure of the Glazers for so long, you've been under the structure the last 10 years of the recruitment strategy and the bankers and all of that kind of stuff, we are clutching onto change and hope. That is what it is. And I think, for example, yesterday, there was a big debate yesterday, before the women's game. Sir Jim Ratcliffe did not attend the women's game because he attended the Arsenal game. And I know leading up to the game, it was a topic of discussion, especially if you're in the Manchester United women's community. It was a topic of discussion because people were like, do you think he'll come? He ran a marathon, and then went to the semi-final of the men's game. So do you think he'll maybe come to the women's final? And I didn't think he would. I personally didn't think he would. Because I don't think he's set himself that kind of face with the women's team and the fans. It's always like the women's team is an afterthought in all the topics of discussion when we talk about this new structure. Avram Glazer with his dusty ponytail. That is the worst ponytail I've seen in my life. Anyways, let me not insult him. But Avram Glazer was there. He was there last year. And I think Avram Glazer came to kind of be like, you know what, I was here last year. I'll come again. There was other senior members of INEOS reportedly there. But I did see a report this was only after the women's game, that Sir Jim Ratcliffe was hosting Andy Burnham, I think his name is, the mayor of Manchester, and Keir Starmer, who is the leader of the opposition, the leader of the Labour Party. Because as you guys know, Manchester United do have a task force in place to kind of get this ball rolling on potentially building a new stadium. They need the government on board. They have to have the government on board. He's trying to build, the Wembley of the North, as he likes to call it. And it was reported that he had this pre-planned meeting at Old Trafford ahead of the Old Trafford game against Arsenal. So it couldn't be moved. Now, when I see stuff like that, I'm like, come on. You're saying it couldn't be moved, but I'm sure it could have. I'm sure it could have. And Wajid, by the way, is not the only person that shares this thought. If you lot watch me and Marcel's stream, Marcel always talks about it, how INEOS have to give us a reason to trust them and believe in them. And I always say to him, he's being a little bit harsh. I can't lie, I do say he's being a little bit harsh. But Marcel shares this thought, and I know a lot of people that do as well, because, you know, when INEOS came in, a lot of us were saying, I said it too, how can I trust someone who has given the Glazers a financial lifeline. They've given the Glazers a financial lifeline. They've lined their pockets with 1.4, how much billion was it? 1.4 billion was it? For 20 something percent. On top of that, they're still getting financial benefits from the club. On top of that, they've just been given the opportunity to take a step back and run stuff, and not run stuff, and still be able to line their pockets. And a lot of us did say that 1.4 for 27% is mad. It's mad. It's overstating, I think. I do think it's overstating what the Glazers deserve. What I think Manchester United is worth versus what I think the Glazers is worth. What the Glazers deserve, is kind of a bit different. You lot are still going on about Wayne Rooney in the chat. Oh no, sorry, I didn't scroll up. My bad. Big up to Adam, says lose to Newcastle and lose to Brighton away. Come on, let's speak about that, guys. Come on, let's talk about the next two games, because I said this before Palace is this team that SJR has asked to oversee the stadium project being paid by the club or INEOS. We don't know. But when the Glazers were selling this percentage of Manchester United to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, all their legal fees, their advisory fees, everything, Manchester United paid for it, or will be paying for it. It's all going on Manchester United's books. The Glazers did not cover. They obviously covered that as a club expense because they are selling some of it. But it will be interesting to see. I'm sure. I don't know if it'll probably be a club expense, because it will be part of research and development. If you are familiar with just financial accounting or anything, I think this will go down as R&D in the books, which, yeah, it will financially help. It won't financially hinder the club's financial statements. That's the easiest way to put it. I'm gonna say we're not scoring another goal this season. Damn, that's kind of harsh. But the thing is like, I share a similar sentiment, because I too was saying ahead of the Palace game, I don't know where the next win is coming from. But whenever I said that back in March, I was being told stop being negative. Let's put it like this, guys. Manchester United did not win a Premier League game during Ramadan. When I realised that, I couldn't stop laughing. We won against Everton a few days before Ramadan started, and then we won again a month and a bit so after against Sheffield United. We've drawn so many games, it's actually quite ridiculous. And by the way, the games that we're drawing obviously has to be games that we should be winning. It should be games that we're winning. It's the Let me pull it up. I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. I need to pull up. Looking at this record, I hate it. Big up to everyone from Bangladesh. I think that's the Bangladesh flag. I think. I'm not that great with flags, but big up if that is. We won against Liverpool FA Cup during Ramadan. That's right. But I said Premier League. I'm talking about the Premier League, guys. I'm really talking about the Premier League at this point. But big up to everyone from Bangladesh. Shout out to all my Bengalis. Man. Let's go back to March. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the record starting from March in the Premier League, guys. In the Premier League, we lost to City 3-1. Then we beat Everton 2-0. By the way, I was at that game, so I'm not saying that there's a direct correlation between me at Old Trafford versus when I'm not at Old Trafford. But I was at that game and we won, and we had a clean sheet. Albeit it was a crap game. I remember standing outside of that game, outside the stadium, talking to Flex. And we had nothing to talk about. We actually had nothing to talk about because the game was so bad. But anyways, after that, Premier League only, guys. Yeah, Premier League only. We drew 1-1 to Brentford. We lost to Chelsea. Drew to Liverpool. Drew to Bournemouth. Beat Sheffield. Drew to Burnley. Lost to Palace. This can't be real. Like, this cannot be real. I don't think we're deep in how bad it is. That's 2 wins in about nearly 3 months in the Premier League. Now, it's quite difficult, I think, to base it off of months because obviously there's gaps, there's international breaks, etc. I think that's 13 games. Someone put it in the chat just before and said 2 out of 13 wins in the Premier League. And this is what I don't understand, is because how is that acceptable? And this is a question to everybody in the chat. I really want to hear your thoughts. How is that acceptable to have such form in the Premier League? I understand if it's a period of a month where United might win 1 game in a month, but this is a period, this is continuous. In February, I told everyone calm down. We won a few games in February where we just about, by the way, I can't remember. I think Sheffield United might actually be one of the few games, and Everton, the last 2 games that we've won, is the only 2 games where we've won by more than 1 goal. Before that, it was West Ham 3-0. Yeah? Wolves 4-3 in February. Then we beat West Ham 3-0. That's the last time that we've had a good game, I think. Then we beat Villa 2-1. We beat Luton 2-1. And then we lost to Fulham. And that's where the downhill that's where it began after February. January, we didn't even play that much. We played 1 Premier League game, I think it was, in January, which was against Spurs. And then we played Newport County and Wigan in the FA Cup. Before that, we don't really... Looking back at the records this season, by the way, maybe it's because now I'm actually paying it attention. I'm realising how bad the scorelines actually have been. Because none of them have been by clear kind of dominance. I've seen Arsenal go and obviously slap up teams, but that's Arsenal, innit? They're in a better position than us. But I haven't seen us convincingly beat teams throughout the season. Can you guys name me 3 games that Manchester United in the Premier League, yeah? Don't give me FA Cup. Don't give me Carabao Cup, yeah? Premier League. Give me 3 games that Manchester United have dominated. Because I'm looking at the results right now and I'm thinking, Everton away. Everton away was a good game, by the way. I think United dominated. I do think United dominated that game. But I'm looking back now at all these games. There's not really any game I can say United really dominated and had a good performance. Even speaking in that run of February games where United won, I think it was 4 out of 5 games or 3 out of 4 games. I cannot think of 3 games. I cannot dominate. Come on, Everton away. I think Everton away was a good performance. I think that was a better performance from what we've seen. We didn't dominate. Everton missed chances. That first half, we were just clinical. But maybe that's what United have been missing throughout the season, is that clinicalness. It was the game where Garnacho scored that bicycle kick. You guys are right. I am looking at it through tinted lenses. I'm looking at it through tinted lenses. Yeah, you guys are right. You guys are right. Okay. All right, don't cook me. All right, guys. I admit to that. But I will say that was a better performance than what we've seen throughout the season. It was definitely a better performance than what we've seen throughout the season. And by the way, United have only... In the games that United have won this season, how many have we actually kept clean sheets? How many have we kept clean sheets? I think maybe like 5 games in the league. Luton, Everton, Fulham, Wolves, West Ham, Everton. 6 games we've kept clean sheets throughout the season. That's so bad. I'd take that 3-0 though. It's been ages since the 3-0. It's been ages that United flipping scored a goal, let alone keep a clean sheet. It's been a long time since United. So let's get onto that topic quickly before we wrap it up. Newcastle and Brighton. Oh, man. Newcastle and Brighton. Are United going to score before the end of the season? Will United get a clean sheet before the end of the season? Will United put in a convincing performance before the end of the season? Will United win a game before the end of the season? You know how sad that is, that I'm actually sitting here saying, oh, is United going to win? It's very sad, very unfortunate. It's funny though, because the Arsenal game, obviously Arsenal fans piping up. Yes, they beat us. They were piping up saying 3-0 this, 4-0 this. Yes, okay, we lost 1-0. But also, can I say that the Arsenal game showed me that Erik ten Hag can tactically adjust when necessary, when he needs to, and that his stubbornness is really what's going to get him sacked by the end of the season. We are playing Newcastle when they are in form. Big up to Big Gameplay with the super chat, says on any level relegation form the past 3 months is Manchester United are in relegation form. The last month is being nice. The last month, that's being nice, bro. Look at Newcastle beat us, by the way, 3-0 in the Carabao Cup. They beat us 3-0 in the Carabao Cup with a weakened team. What's their form saying right now? They drew to Brighton on the weekend. They put 4 past Burnley. 5 past Sheffield, and then they lost to Palace. Then they put 4 past Tottenham. They are in goal scoring form. In the last 5. In the last 5 games, they've scored about 14 goals. Let's compare Manchester United and just Newcastle's last 5 games, guys, because I don't want to laugh, everyone. I don't want to laugh, but in the last 5 games, Newcastle have scored 14 goals. If my maths off the top of my head is correct, which I think it is, they've scored 14 goals, and they've conceded 2, 3, 4, 5 goals. Manchester United in the last 5 games, and by the way, guys, this is just Premier League. In the last 5 Premier League games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. In the last 5 Premier League games, Manchester United have conceded 5, 6, 8, 10 goals. United have conceded 10 goals and scored 1, 5, 7. They've scored 7, conceded 10. Newcastle have scored 14, conceded 5. Of course, I think the Sheffield United game is obviously overstating that, because United scored 4 goals in 1 game. But can I just say that Newcastle have scored 4 goals or more in 3 out of those 5 games? That says it all. That says it all when you look at it from that perspective. Not just at the rate that they're scoring, but how regularly they're scoring. Newcastle's 4th highest scorers in the league, even with all their injuries. But Mina, we have injuries. The Roof concedes 2 as well, looking like a waterfall there in Old Trafford. We know he can adjust after losing the first 2 games last season. He switched it up to a defensive block and counter because that's all we can play. Imagine Ten Hag Defence League saying De Zerbi is awful, then they get given the Kendrick treatment at the Amex. That's a game I don't even want to think about, guys. I don't even want to think about Sunday. The only good thing is, can I say, guys, for the last 3 months, I've been saying, where's the 19th of May? We are less than 7 days away from it, which means we are less than 7 days away from the Premier League season ending. That is the positive. If there's any positive we can take for the next week, it's really that. It's really that, which is a good thing. It's not too, but still 1 more slapping left in the cup final. It depends how you look at it. It depends. Does anybody really have their hopes up for, like, I was feeling more confident ahead of the last FA Cup final than I am this one. And it would be typical Manchester United fashion for us to maybe win it. It would be typical Manchester United fashion for the fans to feel like we're going to lose and then for us to win it. Of course, I think it depends, can I say, I think a big part depends on if, and this is a big if Spurs get something against City tomorrow and Arsenal go on to win the league, Manchester City and Pep are going to come out and smash Manchester United at Wembley. Whereas I think if they win the league 4 in a row versus winning an FA Cup, I think I know what Pep would prefer. I think I know what Pep might prefer. But if Spurs somehow get something tomorrow against Man City and they do their North London rivals a big favour, it's scary. I really don't know. Even if we consider the FA Cup, I don't know where the next clean sheet is coming from. I don't know where the next goal is coming from. I don't know in the next 2 games where the next point is coming on from. Manchester United could see the season out having not won since the 24th of April. Manchester United could see the season out. And you know what Eric Ten Hag will come out and say? We've only lost 3 games in 2024. Shush. Anyway, guys, you guys know what it is. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. We got pre-game build-up. I think tomorrow we'll have a Newcastle preview, or maybe I'll do it on Wednesday. No, I'll do it tomorrow. We'll have that 4 o'clock. We'll be live at 4. As per usual, you guys know what it is. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. After this stream, go and check out the match day vlog that I did for the Manchester United women's game. Go and check that out. Don't go anywhere. Just go straight over and go and check that out. It was a fun one. If you don't want to see some positivity, man, you guys know what it is. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Big up to everyone that was here throughout the stream. Big up to everyone for the super chats. Big up to Wajid with the big super chat as well. I'll be back tomorrow. As always, you lot know where to find me. We are 10 off from 3.6, so hopefully we get there before tomorrow. Oh, shit, I just clicked off my stream for a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys, I'm back. We'll be back tomorrow, man. You guys know what it is. I need to end the stream because it's dinner time for me, guys. I hope you have a wonderful evening. I'm out. Peace.